Here we go. Back again, the Man to Man Pod, baby. Monday, March 20th, 2023. I'm one half of the pod. DB Darius Butler. Got my co-host, AB, back in the building, man. Feeling better, man. How you doing? How you living?
Man, good, bro. How you doing?
Good, man. I got a little post-nasal something. I'm good, man. I'm hanging in him thugging, man. How was your weekend this weekend?
Man, it was good, man. Eventful weekend, man. Little ones, all activities, man. So little man had a soccer game, had flag football practice. Little mama had dance practice. So they got us on the move, man. But all is well, man. And happy belated to you, man. How was the B-Day?
Ooh, it was cool, man. It was special. You know, the boys came to town, spent time with the fam. It was good, man. We had a good weekend. A good weekend. A lot of spades, a lot of hooping. Weather was, a little, but it was good, man. Good weekend. Had some F1. Obviously, March Madness was, my UConn Huskies. They've been holding it down. They look prime. They look prime for a run right now, AB.
Hey, we're gonna see, man. They rolling right now. We definitely gonna talk about this F1, man. I sent you a tweet yesterday, and I've been thinking about some things, man. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'm gonna ask you some tough questions today about F1.
I got some answers.
Okay. And like I said, man, I got a blue moon, man. I know it's your favorite drink, so I got a blue moon for you down the road.
I appreciate. Hey, you're a real one, man. You're a real one. So you heard it, man. We got some F1 talk, college hoops. Obviously NBA hoops. Everybody's making their playoff pushes. Is LeBron James gonna make a return before the season over? We shall see. What else we got? Obviously football news. Got some big pro days coming up with the quarterbacks in the drafts. Some big free agency signings. Somebody to reset the market again at one of the premier positions in the NFL. So yeah, man, lot to get to on the other side, man.
Let's get it.
Yeah, hey, and most importantly, y'all send some questions, comments, concerns, man, so we can highlight you using that hashtag M2M Live. Here we go on the other side, baby.
Darius Butler. Antoine Bethea
Yes, sir. So I remember a couple weeks, maybe a week ago, you told me that UConn and Howard was going to meet in the meet an attorney coming out of that West, man. Y'all had a good, 31 years. Hey, that's a long time.
Hey, man, the guys came out, had a strong showing in the first half. Second half, I think it was just the depth, They put up
They did come out fighting though.
Came out strong, man. So shout out to them Bison boys and Howard University men's basketball team, man. But hey, like I said, man, I give credit where credit is due. I tip my hat to your UConn Huskies, man. The guys, they are out there, they balling, man. They balling.
You've been watching the tourney? You've been tapped in?
I have. It's been a lot of upsets. And I think this is the reason why March Madness is the way that it is. It's about matchups, and it's about who's coming out and who's gonna have that game that day.
Yep.
So you can throw out the regular season rankings, or what your gym look like, how much revenue your basketball team gets. It's about who can put that ball in the basket, man. And March Madness, man, it's been good.
Lot of upsets early. Hey, it's nothing like it, man. Obviously, NFL playoffs is the best of the best. That's one of my favorite postseason NFL playoffs. NBA playoffs is even at MLB. That late season playoff run, but this March Madness shit, like we had a second ever 16 over 1 seed upset. Thought it was going to be the Bison. Was it FDU?
FDU out of
FDU.
Jersey.
I still don't know. Where FDU at? Where's that
In
on
Jersey. They're in New Jersey.
Okay. FDU, fresh out of Jersey, wasn't even supposed to be in the tournament. Something happened with the team that was still making the transition to Division I. They get in. They get an upset. Florida Atlantic University down here in Boca, they get their first tournament win ever, and they got another one. They go into the Sweet 16. Obviously, my UConn Huskies, one of the blue bloods, but coming into this year, nobody expected much from them. Started off hot, and now we rolling. Our first two games, we've been rolling through. Obviously, it's always surprises there, but who's your Cinderella pick to kind of finish this thing off or go on a run? If you got anybody.
Hey, Kool-Aid man just put it in the chat. Princeton, man, they out there making some noise. But right now, if I had to choose, man, I was watching Kansas State, man. I've watched Kansas State play a few times, man. Kansas State looked damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, I think Alabama and Houston, they're the
2 1 seeds left.
That's left, man. But Kansas State, man, they've been playing some really good ball. They got a tough matchup coming against Michigan State, man. Michigan State had a huge win, but these 16 teams, man, if you look at it and you look at the board, if you've been looking at the games, man, definitely some good ball left, man. So I'll take Kansas State right now.
You got Kansas State right now. For y'all who can't see, it's the FanDuel Sportsbook, present sponsor of the show. These are the Sweet 16s and the matchups. The biggest spread you see up here right now is this Creighton over Princeton. They sitting at 9.5 point favorites. My UConn Huskies 3.5 point favorites over Arkansas. It's some good matchups. Michigan State, Kansas State, San Diego State, Bama, Miami, Houston, Princeton, Creighton, Creighton, Xavier, Texas, UCLA, Gonzaga, Tennessee, and FAU, Florida Atlantic. That's some good matchups, man. What I'm going with.
I'm guessing, I said I'll go with Kansas State right now.
You know who I'm going with, man.
Yeah,
who I'm going with. Hey,
you can go with them Huskies.
Everything goes through the big fella, man. And I've been enjoying his post-game interviews just as much as him on the court. But he, efficient, got a solid, smooth game, got some athletic wings. We got everything you need to make a run this time of year. And obviously, I think Bama, still probably be the favorites just because of Brandon Miller and co. Houston, I think they were the number 1 overall seed, right? Houston, yeah. But as we know, anything can happen this time of year. That's what makes this shit so special. The women's Sweet 16 will be set
tonight.
Yeah, after today's action. But it's that time of year, man. It is all for us in the NFL.
So I think this is a perfect segue, man. And we kind of before we went to our intro, I said, look, man, typically, we leave F1, no disrespect. It's kind of one of the last things that D-Butt jumps into. But I think this is the perfect segue, right? We talk about March Madness. We talk about, it's about matchups. You never know who's going to win. You have these upsets. 1, you got 15. You have these upsets. You have these matchups, right? So my thing with F1, right? So my guy D-Butt, as we all know, huge F1 fan. Been trying to get me on that train. Every time you come on this show and you talk about F1, you probably speak about 2 names. You talk about 2 names. As far as teams, it's probably 3. You got Red Bull, you got Mercedes, and you got
Ferrari.
3 teams.
Those big 3.
Big 3. All right, I get it. As far as names, we talk about Hamilton just because he's a GOAT, but I haven't heard him winning since you've introduced the man-to-man. Yeah. I haven't heard his name.
Yeah.
Verse what's his name? Max
Verstappen.
Max V. I hear his name a lot.
Too much.
And then after that, who is it, D-Buck?
See, I'm glad you said that. That's a
Yeah,
great
I'm
question
asking.
because speaking
I'm
of the
asking.
oldest driver on the grid, Fernando Alonso just got his 100th podium yesterday. And for those who don't know, podium is 20 drivers on the grid. The top 3, they stand on the podium at the end. 1, 2, 3, obviously. So Fernando Alonso in back-to-back races to start this year has been on the podium with Aston Martin, who, like you said, you mentioned it's usually Red Bull, usually Ferrari, it's usually Mercedes. Those are usually the big 3. And then they're usually competing for the championship, at least in recent F1
years.
McLaren's had a lot of these teams had their runs over the years, but recently those have been the teams that compete for the championship. And then usually it's like the best of the rest. That's what McLaren, Aston Martin, Alpine, all those fight for those points. But Aston Martin had basically a great offseason. So every year you got to rebuild the car basically for the new year, the new specifications, all these different type of things.
Yeah.
And this year, Aston Martin made some huge gains.
Okay.
Before we got introduced to the sport, myself included, where I'm watching like I am now, Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes, they were on a 7-year run where they ran off championships. Lewis Hamilton ran it wasn't like boom, 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 boom. Then the 8th season, some controversy with the last race. Max Verstappen, Red Bull win, and then Max Verstappen and Red Bull, like this car that they built, it's a rocket shit. Like it shit ain't even competitive this year.
Yeah.
So this right now, the stand is after the first 2 races. Max Verstappen at 1, Checo Perez, his teammate, is at 2.
Surprise, surprise.
Fernando Alonso 3, says Hamilton. So even in that top, so now those 3 teams you mentioned, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, they're all up there. But now you can see the Aston Martins are up there as well. Lance Stroll, he's down with 8 points, but he didn't even finish his last race. So this, honestly, if you're looking for a sport where it's like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen today.
This is not the sport.
This ain't it. You know what I mean? At least this year, because typically you want at least 2 cars, at least 2 drivers, where it's like, all right, we don't know who's going to win the championship. And if you watch the race, if you're into the sport, it's still entertaining because you got people that's challenging in the midfield, who's fighting for 4th, 5th. It's still a good things have to happen. Strategy, drivers, drama. Even with the Red Bull, it's some drama going on right now with these 2 drivers because Checo Perez, he started off at 1, he got pole position. Max Verstappen started off at 15, still ended up in 2nd. But they're going around. And it's a long season, so they try to take care of the car. So, you got the people coming, the engineers coming over there like, hey, this is the time target for this lap. So they were racing each other.
Yeah. So
you get 1 point if you finish in the top 10 for the fastest lap of the race. And since it was 1-2, the opposite way in the first race, the difference in the championship, as you can see, will be that 1 point, whoever got the fastest lap. So Red Bull is basically telling their team, we're kind of managing it. And then each driver is kind of like, all right, is Max managing too? Okay, is Checo managing too? So Verstappen waits to the last lap and then just punches it and goes against the fastest lap. And some people, Checo felt some kind of way about that because he could have definitely went and tried to get it too, which I think he should have. But
this is not my first time of me hearing Max doing some shady stuff. So in my viewpoint, hey, you got to know what type of person you're dealing with.
Exactly.
At some point, you got to know what type of person you're dealing with. So
exactly,
I got to sit down with the team. Hey, look, there's no more questions being asked. I understand, this is what the dynamic is. And again, I'm just saying if it was AB, the driver, hey, look, bro, this dude done did X, Y, Z, X amount of times. Hey, look, if it ever comes down to another situation where I'm asking, is Max doing so-and-so? I already know what he's doing. He's doing the opposite. So I got to go get mine, man.
Exactly. And in these, so it's 20 drivers, 10 teams, obviously 2 drivers each team. A lot of the teams have like a lead driver, like the number 1 driver. Max has been the number 1 driver for Red Bull for a while, and like his, the partner. Same thing with Lewis Hamilton. They have different, B drivers essentially. But you're in good cars, so these drivers are competitive too. Shit, they want to win the championship as well. So, but it's been Checo as his teammate has been a great teammate for him, doing the things that need to be doing, that he needs to be done to help Max win these championships. But then, like last year, for instance, second to last race, I believe, Perez was trying to get some points to come second in the championship.
Right.
And they basically needed to invert cars, like they needed to get in front. Max had already won it. He already had the championship sewn up. This is when you heard about him last. Team comes on the radio, hey, let Checo through, blah, blah. Max like, nah, fuck off. Like, I'm not here to be number two. And so that's his mindset. So it's a fine line as far as like having that mentality, like, hey, I'm the one driver. I'm always trying to win. I'm always this, I'm always that. And then being a good teammate as well. So I get it. His dad is a big part of it, how he's raised. So it's like, I get it.
How would you approach the situation if you Max? So I like the mindset. Like you said, on one end, I like the mindset. Look, I'm going out here and I'm winning. But if like, yo, this is a big team situation. I know the guy that that's racing along with me, that had the same uniform as I do. He's helped me get into a position that I'm at. Like, how would you approach the situation?
When it's my time to do my part as a team player, like you said, if you are that top driver, everything's catered to. They're going to build a car built to, how your skill set is. The race strategy is going to be built for you, all those things. So when it is your turn, and especially for the entire team, it's even a money thing. Like for the team, if they come in and number one with the Constructors Championship, that's both drivers, the points put together, that's something for the team. So with him not doing that, I believe Charles Leclerc Ferrari's driver came in number 2, so they didn't get that 1-2 finish. So I love the mindset. Hey, I'm always winning. I always want to be one top dog. But like I said, the championship was already sewn up. Like it was literally no reason and like that put like a real, sour taste in his mouth. Pause. But so it is some drama to it. And this year it's gonna come down to these two drivers.
Yeah.
And I personally at this point, I'm ready for Checo, for Sergio Perez's villain era to start. And kind of like, fuck it. I'm trying to be a champion too. So hopefully that's the drama we get this year, because as far as any other car compete with Red Bull this year, that shit ain't even close. Like Max started in 15th place and he had the second best odds going into the race to win it. Like the shit wasn't even close. But good F1 talk to start the show off. There go the driver's standings. The constructor standings. But yeah, man. So yeah, this year it ain't gonna be competitive. It's Red Bull's time right now. They got shit figured out. But Alonso did get his 100th podium, so he joins a very prestigious list. Tony, if you could drop that list of drivers he joined, we get to it at some point, hopefully, maybe. But on to the NFL.
Shout out Alonso.
Huh?
I said, shout out Alonso.
And Alonso, he had his drama too with him and Lewis Hamilton used to be partners on McLaren, I believe. And he's kind of like, I like Alonso. He's kind of like a bad guy. He says some shit here and there, but I like his driving style. I like to talk shit. He old head. He's been on the grid, I think, 22 years or something crazy like that. So I like it, man. I enjoy it, man. Yeah. But I also enjoy players getting their money. And for some reason, I feel like this free agent, I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like this free agency, like,
it's been we got to talk about it. It's been a little.
I don't know what it is. Like, we know the cap went up.
It's weird.
But these, the cap, for me at least, a lot of players I expect to get paid. Say Julian Love, CJ, GJ. Few of these players I expect to get solid deals. I feel like they aren't not really getting that bag like they should, man. I don't know what it is. You seen linemen getting paid, defensive linemen, offensive linemen, especially in the trenches. But a lot of these deals,
a lot of 1 year, $4 million.
Yeah.
A lot of 1 year, $5 million deals. Like, and then obviously I know we was going to touch on it. Gardner Johnson, a 1 year, $8 million deal with the Detroit Lions. And then, it's obviously reports coming out there that, Philly offered them a deal early in free agency. He turned it down. Thought he was gonna get more.
Yeah.
But again, I just feel like it's weird because the season that he came off of in past years, he would have killed the market, right?
Bruh.
Killed the market, like no question. Like, hey, this is what it is. You gonna set a new number. What he did for the Philadelphia Eagles last year,
Yeah.
no question, no question. Now, people are saying, off the field issues. Now teams gotta pick their side, like, because there's some people that we've seen done some crazy shit off the field, and they've got a nice payday. So they got to be able to pick their poison of when they want to, be on the right side of the fence. But again, man, this deal in particular surprised me. Yeah, surprised me a lot.
It's been a few, like I said, this one, the Julian Love one, I feel like he had a really good year at the safety position out there in New York. Jesse Bates, I think we missed that when we weren't on air. He did get paid, deservedly so. I know he was a franchise tag with Cincinnati, but Atlanta went and paid him. I think he got 16 a year, which is good for the safety.
Back with the Bills.
Yeah, which is good for the safety market. Jordan Poyer, another safety I thought would get. He played through a lot of injuries last year, but still played well. And has played well throughout his career. But these deals have been surprising for like a lot of the skill positions, I say. Juju, he signed a solid deal, I think.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers, these guys. But these deals, I don't know. But one guy did get his bag though, who represent himself to reset the market again. One of my favorite Dolphins ever, what he's done for our franchise. But
got y'all a lot of picks, boy.
Hey, what gifts that keep on giving? But Laramie Tunsil, man, he got paid from the Houston Texans, 3-year, $75 million deal. I've seen with $60 million guaranteed. I think $50 million guaranteed at signing or something like that. But obviously $25 a year. Reps himself, fired his agent a few years back. So this is a young man representing himself and resetting that market. Now I like this deal. I don't mind a 2-3 year deal.
Those are the
front loaded, get your money, and then hit that. He'll be hitting the market again. I think 30, 31 years old. So big shout out to Laramie Tunsil becoming the highest paid offensive tackle in NFL history.
So we get a lot of the backlash for Lamar. You know what I mean? So again, like I said, like I just feel like situations. So we talked about. I was talking about, like, I just think some situations, negotiation is exactly what it is, just negotiation to try to get to that number. And again, we're not gonna beat a dead horse, but Lamar, I just feel like that should be a situation where it should strictly be that, a negotiation to get to this number. Obviously, it shouldn't be that far off.
Negotiating good faith, yep.
You know what I'm saying? But his play, what his peers have received that play the position, it should be a no-brainer. You come here, Laramie Tunsil, representing himself. Again, negotiating in good faith, it shouldn't be hard. Yeah. And I don't see why Lamar gets that backlash, because we can see that, it's been some players that represented themselves and they shot themselves in the foot.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of agents who have represented players and had some shitty deals too.
Exactly. So again, shout out to Laramie Tunsil for what he's been able to get for himself and solidify his future. But I still don't get this. Players shouldn't rep themselves. Like, if you feel as though you can go out there and do it. Now, if you're a mediocre player, or if you're the 53rd guy on the roster, you need representation, because them agents are gonna call and they have relationships with these GMs. They'll be able to get you in the camp or whatever the case may be. But if you're one of them top guys, man, like, I mean, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, and I know Tunsil. Now, I don't think you should go into, obviously saving money is a big part of it, 2-3%, whatever you negotiate. But when you're dealing with these, 9-figure numbers, you need the best representation, the best, even if you are repping yourself, have some lawyers looking over the paperwork, some advisors, whatever it may be. to get the job done. Obviously, we know situations are always situational. And Lamar is obviously in the situation, been in that quarterback market. He views himself, a lot of fans view him as a lot of players view him as a player, and like, hey, this is one of the what the fuck is going on here? And I think a lot of coaches and decision makers are kind of on a different page where they don't necessarily. It's not a consensus like when your guy Joe Burrow is up. If he would never get to this point, because I think it's a consensus around the league as far as those decision makers and coaches. Like, hey, this is exactly what or who this guy is. So I think I think that would be the case with Laramie Tunsil too. Like, hey, if this motherfucker ever got near the market, we gonna give him what he want to come protect his blind side. So that's the situation that Lamar's in, and it's been seeming like, I don't know why, but I've been seeing more things, little posts and stuff come out. Like they may be getting closer to a deal, but I could be completely wrong. But I hope they do, right by Lamar. We know how business is, though. It's a cutthroat business. You talk about all these players, not getting the deals they expect. I have players call me and be like, hey, man, I expected it. And that's the conversation you always have with people before free agency starts. It's like, hey, bro, you did your part, continue to control what you control, but it's a crapshoot with this. You gotta have the people like you. You gotta have a bidding war. You gotta have some things going in your favor for it to be right, man. But it's been some fishy stuff going on.
No, for sure.
I feel like
to your point, man.
Scenes for some reason. But shout out to Laramie getting that bag. What you about to say?
Yeah. To your point, man. I was on a call last week with one of my young guys. Hit free agency. And I was on the phone with him like I was his agent. Like he's frustrated. Like, man, like what's going on? And I'm just like, man, you just gotta see what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like as far as market wise, as far as your position. And my thing is like, hey, look, like, this is one of the things where you sit down with your agent and say, hey, ask your agent, man, what are you going to go say to these GMs? Like, what is our number? What is the number that we looking for? Obviously, agent working for yourself, you can throw out a number, but then your agent will have more of a feel as far as what's going on around the league for your position, man. But again, man, like it's I ain't gonna say a lot of guys, some guys out there that's frustrated. And then it might just be one of them years where a lot of guys just got to take those prove-it deals this year, that 1 year prove-it deal. And I hate it. I mean, sometimes it works, but big scheme of things, sometimes you hate it because you never know what can happen.
Exactly. We know the sport we play. And shit, you have a down year. You know what I mean? They can just not be a year for whatever reason. You can have a tweak growing in camp that just never quite get right. Some things can be happening off the field, maybe personally or family situation, mom, dude, dad, probably going, anything can happen with humans. So that's why when you go into these years, you want a lot of people, especially if you've earned it, you want that guaranteed money beyond that year. And like you said, sometimes it definitely works where, all right, I'm going to take this 1 year proof deal, go out here and ball, and then get paid, i.e. Jesse Bates. He was on the franchise tag. He obviously had earned his money at this point, get franchised, and you go out there and play and then get your long-term security. So you definitely want to see that. And just obviously continue to send a good energy to these guys. But it's definitely frustrating, especially when you're worth more and then the market you kind of corner in the market. And then the longer it goes, the tougher it gets for you. Because you go back, you say, all right, we had, I expected to get 6 this year. The best that's out there is 3. And then you playing hardball for the 3. And then you may have one team in it. And then you come back to the team and they're like, shit,
we done moved on.
2.5 now.
Or we done moved on.
You got till tomorrow morning to take it. We gonna move on to got B on our list, and then so it's a tough. And then even from the position of us, where you giving advice to it's like, all right, what would you do, bro? Like, bro, that's tough. Cause I can't say it, and then because you got to live with that. You got to go and deal with whatever comes with that. So it's a tough position, man. But obviously, always wishing these guys the best.
Yeah. And it's crazy, and we can move on. It's funny you said that because he asked me that same question. He said, "Give me the whole rundown send me over, what the team, proposed to him and everything. And, he just frustrated. And he was like, man, what would you do in this situation?
Yeah.
Like,
man.
I'm like, hey, it's not my situation. Like, this is just because I don't want to say something and then you do that and then it doesn't happen and you like, damn, like, OG, like you told me to do X, Y, and Z. Like, at the end of the day, like people always say that name when you're on the back of your jersey, you are the business of that name. So, business of Darius Butler, business of Antoine Bethea, you got to do what's right for your business, man. But to your point, man, hopefully all these guys go ahead and get every penny that they can get, man.
That should be that, man. That should be that. I done been. You get on the phone, you get hot for real. You get on the phone to call the coach or something. Hey, coach, what's up? Because the coaches know like what you mean to that room or that building, whatever. Hey, coach, what's up, man? Hey, man, I want to move, but I ain't involved with that. I ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. Like this should be tough. Like, damn. Yeah. But matter of fact, they came to Kevin Byard out in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Asked him to take a pay cut. After this, man, you look at this roster. I know y'all done let go a lot of guys already. You look at these rosters, y'all come to me, who showed up every week, who played at damn near Pro Bowl, all pro level. Hey, fuck out of here with that.
Right.
Man.
Right.
So is it business or person? It's both.
Both, yeah.
It's both. I mean, we understand the business of it, but at the same time, it's obviously, a personal side to it. Until, AI and robots take over and start playing these games, that should always be both, I think.
Yeah. And Smooth Operator, he asked a question as far as why didn't Orlando Brown get a deal like this? And it's crazy because he was offered a 5-year, what was it, like 100 mil?
Yeah. I don't think that was a great deal, though. And that's the thing with him, too. So I would say Orlando Brown is in somewhat a similar position as Lamar Jackson from the standpoint of he views himself as, and a lot of people may view him as a left tackle, premier left tackle. A lot of teams didn't necessarily see him that way or see him getting this type of Laramie Tunsil, Trent Williams type left tackle money. Mm-hmm. So he ended up taking which I think was a good deal. A lot of guaranteed money up front with the Bengals. And the shorter deal, the longer deal with Kansas City, it was a bigger number, obviously, but I think the guarantees are pretty close to the one he got now. Yeah. So and then you going to be protect the blind side of one of the premier quarterbacks in the league right now, Joe Burrow. So you expect to be playing a big game. So hopefully he hits the market again and proves himself that he is a premier left tackle in this league. I believe his pops played left tackle too. So he's trying to keep that family tradition going. But a lot of people saw him as a right tackle. He went left tackle and got this money. So yeah, I think that plays a role in it. And then who did the Chiefs end up paying? Because I don't think he played left tackle. Juwan Taylor from the Jaguars.
Yeah,
that's who the Chiefs end up giving that bag to. I think 4 for $80 was $60 guaranteed. And he played right tackle in Jacksonville. So it should be tough, man, because we have one opinion of ourselves, and then these people who are in these GMs or presidents or whatever, head coaches sometimes, they put you in a different box. And when you're in that box, man, that should be tough.
Yeah. Speaking out loud with Renee and Borba, we kind of touched on this last week as far as do players consider taxes or cost of living in specific cities? 10 mil in Texas ain't the same as 10 mil in New York, and that's a fact. When you out in that market, that is something that you do consider. Not only taxes, but just the way of living. You're moving your family there. You can be there, majority of the year. But those are some things that you do take in consideration. Taxes, for sure. People got, when you got your financial advisor, your CPA, your tax people, they all gonna be like, well, if there was a difference at 10 mil in Texas and 10 mil in New York, definitely, they gonna push you to Texas. So guys, I do take that into consideration.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Another guy, Brandon Cooks, traded from the Houston Texans to the Dallas Cowboys. I know he was trying to get traded last year. Actually missed a game or so. because of they took his captainhood or whatever it is, I believe, which was crazy. But Brandon Cooks traded again. Like, how many times Cooks been traded? 3-4 times?
Four.
Sheesh. 4 times. And I feel like he always produces.
Always. He's
Wherever
always
he
over
goes.
1,000.
Yeah, always over 1,000. Always making the big plays. So now he's another weapon for Dak Prescott out there in Dallas, man. How you feel about this trade?
I think the trade is good, for the reasons you just mentioned, right? So Brandon Cooks, he always shows up. And I think that's what, Dak needs that. But now you're looking at the dynamic of the Dallas Cowboys. We kind of talk about, okay, where is Dak? As far as is he that guy that can lead this team to a Super Bowl? You release Zeke, Pollard's hurt. So as far as the dynamic of that offense, what does that offense look like? But bringing Brandon Cooks in, he's a down the field threat. A threat when he gets his hands on the ball, he can make some big plays happen, and he shows up. And if I'm a player, if I'm in the front office, at the end of the day, that's what I want on my team. I want a guy like that on my team. I know each and every Sunday he's gonna come out, he's gonna show out, he's gonna ball. So we will see. Dallas. He's still keeping it mil. Dallas takes on 12, and Houston took on 6. Hey, that's what you want.
Facts. Big facts. So shout out to Cooks for that, keeping his bread after the trade. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. Obviously, Dallas is always, gonna be. They did make a good move getting Gilmore over as well and re-signed Donovan Wilson, the safety there. They got some prime time players in some prime time positions. They just got to put it all together, man. New OC this year, Kellen Moore out of there, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that shit on paper don't mean nothing to me no more. But
that's a fact.
But again, like you said, there's definitely some names. Giddy Lock, my guy, our guy. Coming over from Indy. But again, man, you gotta put it together. Got to put it together.
Big fact. Who are the best quarterbacks in the NFC right now?
Yeah, so did you just read that question from G.I. Joe?
Bum. Oh, my fault.
Oh, you good. Is Dak top 5 quarterback in the NFC? I got Jalen.
I feel like yes. Off the top of my head, I feel like it starts with yes.
Okay.
Jalen, we both agree with that. I'll put him at the top.
Would you put Geno there?
Ooh, Geno at 2?
No. I'm just saying. I'm naming some quarterbacks.
Let me
he didn't say rank them. He just said top 5.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna say yes. So let's put that. I'm gonna put Dak in my top 5 NFC.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Kirk Cousins in the top 5 NFC.
Okay.
I'm gonna put
Jalen Hurts.
Stafford healthy. Jalen Hurts for sure.
Yeah.
Stafford, if he's anywhere close to 100%, Stafford will be there. Damn. That shit's sad out there in the NFC.
Kyler Murray.
Good year. Geno Kyler. He's healthy. Derek Carr over there now.
Shit. Maybe Geno might be in there.
Geno had a hell of a year.
Danny Dimes?
Nah. I can't put Danny Dimes in there. I put Geno over Danny Dimes for sure. I guess that's a 5 right there.
Yeah, we don't know where A-Rod at right now.
Hurts, Cousins, Stafford, Dak, and Geno.
Yeah. I feel like we missed
Jared Goff.
Let's see, huh?
Jared Goff put up some numbers last year. They had explosive. Hey, Lions made some moves though. I know we talking about the deal with CJ GJ going over there. Solid move. They got Cam Sutton from Pittsburgh. They didn't re-sign Jamal Williams. He went down to New Orleans.
I be hating shit like that.
Yeah, me too. I feel like
you felt like he was his personality, his play was just fit for what Dan Campbell with the lines. And so you hate to see things like that, but
I'm with
it happens.
I wanted to see him stay there, but he said based on the deal that they offered the Lions, he felt like it was done. You know what I mean? It was a disrespectful offer, and he had to move on and get his. Got to respect that. But I would have definitely liked to see that relationship continue. Did he break the franchise record last year, rushing touchdowns?
Rushing touchdown, I think he did.
I know anytime TD.
Goat.
Yeah, he was up there with Travis Kelce as far as anytime TD bet towards the end of the year. But yeah, he moved on. What else, man? Top 5 NFC quarterbacks. Wow, that's rough.
That's bad that we had to think that hard about top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC.
5, hey, that's why the Panthers giving up all that shit they gave up to get to this one spot. They could potentially, whoever they draft.
Bruh, I get it. But if they keep that number 1 spot, you have a quarterback, but you ain't got nothing. Shit, I'm down the road, man. I might be able to line up in the slot or something so you can, give me a little bubble screen. I give you about 3 yards.
They signed Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
Thielen got signed to 3, which I think is a solid weapon to have there for a young quarterback. They signed Miles Sanders in the backfield from the Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't re-sign him out there. He's there. Hayden Hurst, tight end from the Bengals. We got him. So Panthers are, they making some move. Obviously signed Andy Dalton to be a backup or a bridge or a veteran quarterback in the room, whatever role he will play. We'll see. The rookie may come in and not be ready to play. So I think Frank Wright has put together a solid staff out there to get things turning around. What's good?
Question for you. You sign that, you keep that number 1 pick. You get your quarterback that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Is he playing week 1?
Ooh. He got to be ready. I got to make that decision as a coach. Frank Wright, he's a quarterback guy. You got to know. Usually I'm, hey, one, throw him out there, trial by fire. But nah, if you go and let's say they go and take a shot at Anthony Richardson and he's just not ready, maybe I put Andy Dalton out there for the first 4 games. See what we get to my dog ready. But CJ Stroud, I think he's going to be ready day 1 to come in and be a pro. I think Bryce Young, you drafted, he's going to be ready day 1 as well. All you worry about is durability there because of his size. But as far as seeing the field, making the throws, being able to move around, I think I take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud 1. They're playing week 1. Anthony Richardson, probably not. Just probably not. But I could be wrong. He could come to Kansas. You know what I mean? Pick shit up. And you know how it is. You see motherfucker make a couple throws. Everybody in practice kind of.
Nah, facts. I mean, facts. So that's what I'm, you giving all that up. Your number 1 pick. I'm thinking
a lot.
I'm thinking that, hey, man, he gave all that up. I don't care. If he throwing it in the stands, he can get out there. He can get this thing right.
But then they are in a division that I feel like should be winnable, especially that defense is competitive. And Frank Wright, he got fired last year. He definitely not trying to, be on that hot seat again anytime soon. But do you consider or do you even think about, maybe we draft a quarterback 1 this year. Anthony Richardson, let's say 1. We got Andy Dalton on the roster. We play Andy until Richardson is ready, and we don't really care about our record this year. We can go 4-13 this year, and hopefully picking that top 5 again next year. Is that even your consideration if you're in that front office of the Panthers, or are you looking at this division as a right? Hey, let's go make a run and win as many games as possible right now.
So for me,
as a front, it's GMAB. It's
GMAB. Like you've only heard me say one time, hey, look, that rook, I would start him. That was Kenny Pickett with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm always a fan of if we have a veteran quarterback in the room that has the potential to put him out there and let the young guy learn from him. Unless it's like an Andrew Luck who, we knew first day he came in the locker room, step out on the field, he was ready to play. Now you do have a CJ Stroud or Young that comes into the building, or even Anthony Richardson coming into the building, you can see he's throwing the ball. He has the playbook down. He's moving people around and he's making those throws. Like, okay, cool. Number 1 pick. you see what you got, go with that. But if you feel as though if you have any question marks, is if that guy is ready or not, I would say sit him for a couple weeks. Let him learn. Let him watch some film. Go through some get in the huddle during the game, during real live game situations, and see what the corrections are. And then, like you said, if you had a spot in the season where it's week 8, week 9, and you 2-6, 2-7, man, throw that young boy out there, let him get some live field reps. But if you got a veteran quarterback, man, let him learn, because again, like a lot of times we don't give the young quarterbacks time to really learn the game, and then we don't give them the grace or the benefit of the doubt. Year 2, year 3, like year 2, year 3, they like, oh man, you got to draft another quarterback.
Be a bust, you got to get him out of here.
Yeah, that's not fair. So again, like you always say, situational, man. If a young guy comes in and he's ready, obviously get him out there. If he's not, if you have any type of question marks, if I'm a GM and we got a vet quarterback in the room, let that vet go out there and start week 1.
Let him rock. You heard the GM. But let's get to this FanDuel read, man. Matter of fact, I want to throw these odds up one more again.
One more again
with these teams being set. Outside of my UConn Huskies, who else I like? I like Bama. Texas got a squad too. Gonzaga. How long is I got a question. How long has Buddy been in college, man? Is he taking advantage of COVID years or something?
Wouldn't you?
Drew Timmy? Like I feel like Draymond Green was at Michigan State for like good 6-7 years. This dude, I feel like he's been in college forever. The dude he got like a handlebar mustache at Gonzaga. Still out there, man. But shout out to FanDuel, the sponsor of the show. Tournament is heating up. And there's no place better to get on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sports. But you can throw that little graphic disclaimer up. That's because right now FanDuel is giving new customers a no sweat bet up to $1,000. You heard me. That's up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Just go to FanDuel.com/M2M live and sign up today to claim your no sweat first bet. Then you can wager on everything from the money line to point spreads to which team will be cutting down the nets. Huskies. So don't miss your shot at a no sweat bet up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Just go to FanDuel.com/M2M live to sign up and make every moment more with FanDuel. Once again, we always appreciate FanDuel, everything they've been doing with the mob. This tourney, I know they've been kicking ass. I'm gonna let you know I stay away from a lot of these unless it's my Huskies, unless I know what the hell going on, because it's that time of year and I know they've been
eating.
Woo! Have you good?
Man, all sports book eating, man. Looking at some videos of folks in Vegas sitting in the sports book, man. Like I know they are eating. And shoot, before we get out of here, I asked Tone to put some in the brands, man. This is something that's dear to my heart. It's something that's dear to my heart. DB. Marcus Epps leads the NFL with 880,384. I hate all this should be public records. And performance-based pay distribution. And for the people that don't know what this is, right? It's performance-based pay distribution. So for instance, obviously if you're a first rounder, I would say top 10 pick or even first rounder.
We could use our situation because I was drafted second round.
Okay.
You went later. You started the whole year, right?
Yep. So that's what we'll do. We'll use our situations. Well, D-Buck drafted second round. So typically in the front office mind, the league's mind, if you drafted second round, you'll probably be more opted to probably play sooner or have more play time
Mm-hmm.
than a person such as myself that was drafted later in the 6th round that, typically probably won't get that much playing time. So obviously on the pay scale, the earlier that you're drafted, the more your signing bonus that you'll get. Base pay is the same throughout your rookie, like basically rookie pay scale is basically the same, right? But here, like you see, performance-based pay distribution at the end of the year, the league, teams, players, they accumulate how much play time you receive based on your spot that you were drafted in.
Yeah,
for instance,
your salary.
My rookie year, our base salary was $225,000. I was drafted 6th round. I was starter day 1, and we made a run in the playoffs and Super Bowl. So that just added on to it.
A good pay.
I would say, and it's crazy because I forgot about I was even getting this check, but it was after Super Bowl I received a check, and it was probably 2 times more than my base salary was that year.
That should be
so again, to the late round draft picks, you go out there and do your work, man. You'll still get rewarded for the work that you put in.
Yeah. It's based on every play. So per play, per snap, every snap, So, for example, 2nd round pick 6, let's say we went in the same draft, per snap, I may get $57 per play. AB might get $387 per play. Like, so it'd be that much different. And to get it in the best part about this 880, agents don't get a dime of it. So obviously agents, they get negotiated, what they negotiate for your salary, signing bonus, all that stuff. They get their, 3%, 2%, whatever y'all negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you go out there and get on this, PP performance pay, nobody touches that. And it comes at a time in the offseason. It comes like just when you forget it. But I'm sure Epps is looking forward to this. But especially young boys, I didn't really know what it was. I still got a solid check. But my best friend had went and got drafted in the 4th round a year prior, and he played a ton. His shit was free. So, but as soon as you forget, that check come at this point to your mom's house. Hey, I got something here from the pay. Huh?
That's exactly how the conversation went. G.I. Joe said it. Mom's open it. Hey, boy. Hey, Twan, you got a check here from the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Check. It's probably like it's March, April. I shouldn't be getting no check right now. Oh shit! Like, open that.
Hell yeah.
Open that. But now, shout out, man. Shout out to Marcus Evans. Like I said, man, late round draft picks, mid-round draft picks, man. Y'all go out there and get that money, man. It's out there.
He balled too. He played his ass off. He flew around last year, balled out. And so definitely love to see it for the young man. What else we got, man?
Any questions?
Yeah, right before we get these questions, I know I spoke on a little bit earlier about Fernando Alonso cracking that 100 podiums, which is unbelievable. He joins a very prestigious list, and this is why, I call Sir Lewis Hamilton the GOAT. 191 podiums for Lewis Hamilton. Michael Schumacher, who is the GOAT to a lot of people as well. That's kind of like that Jordan-LeBron debate up there. 155 podiums. Sebastian Vettel, 122. He just retired. Alan Prost, 106. Kimi Räikkönen, 103. And Fernando Alonso, who got his 100th podium yesterday, was actually taken away from him for a few hours because of a penalty that he did on track. And then the FIA came out and said, and then they came back and rescinded it and gave him his podium back. So shout out to Fernando Alonso getting his 100th podium in Formula One.
That's good stuff.
Any good questions?
I don't see none.
Senna was on the GOAT. Rest his soul. Senna was a dog.
Question: have y'all ever fired an agent? I have not. I was with mine for my entire career.
It's a good question. That's a blessing. I did fire agent. I was with my first agent for my first 8 years. And I felt, I felt like it was a great relationship. He worked his ass off. Anytime I hit him, he hit me back. He had a ton of clients. I believe the most clients in the league. But it was very, if I hit him at 12:05 and he didn't answer, by 12:10, he got back to me. So I always respected that. It just got to a point for me where, it becomes a conflict of interest sometimes when you do have that many guys, because it's only so many teams, so many positions, and you got to do your job as an agent. And this is that kind of personal business type thing. But if I'm a nickel or a safety on the market, I know that agent got to take calls for, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot of that. And then even more important than that, I just felt like some of the things he was saying wasn't really matching up with. It was what I would want to hear, but it wasn't what I knew the reality to be. So once that became a thing for me, like as far as a business standpoint, like, I had to move on. And, you still cross paths with these people in this type of world. So everything is cordial. But I did move on, fire agent, get another one for that reason. People fire agents for all type of reasons. Sometimes it's some janky business things. So it was never on that. But it was just kind of like I've been around 7-8 years at this point. I know what it is. Don't tell me I'm getting the same deal as a 24-year-old that just hit the market for the first time. So, but yeah. Thing about agent though, once they negotiate that deal, whatever deal they negotiate, they're getting paid from that deal. Whether you can find them the next day, they still gonna get that. As I guess that's right. That's the work they put in. That's the time they put in. So, but yeah, to answer your question, Van, yes, I have. AB has not.
The man pod. How do taxes work as far as away games? Do you pay taxes in that state, county, etc. for the game check, or is that done in your yearly taxes? I hate this part.
The most unfair tax
the jock
situation in league. Google jock taxes. So yeah, you go and pay them taxes in every state you play in. Was it Cincinnati or Cleveland?
I think it was Cleveland.
You pay like a state tax in a city or county? It was
either Cincinnati or Cleveland. I want to say Cleveland. Or was it? I don't know. It was one of them.
Double tax, but
yeah.
But yeah, jock taxes. Go look them up. Mikey Rich, do you still get paid if you're a healthy scratch on game day? Good question. You want to answer? Or you want me to answer?
You got it.
Different for different people, actually, depending on your contract. Because some people will have a per game bonus. So you get your base salary. You're getting that regardless. Once that league year starts, you're getting your base salary. But let's say, for instance, I'm a guy who has injury. So like when OBJ comes back, most likely he'll have like a per game roster bonus. So that's if you suit up and play in that game, that may be an extra, 45,000, 50, whatever it is for that game. So if you don't suit up for weeks 14 through 16, you're not getting paid that bonus, but you're still getting your salary, for that year. And then some people have playtime incentives in their contract as well. So it may be 55%, 65, 75. You hit a different number every time you hit one of those. So if you miss, 3 games, they may mess up you hitting, an 85% bonus or something like that. So it's definitely different. These are the kind of things that go into contracts that, aren't necessarily talked about. But once you get into, free agency and stuff like that, it's different. Workout bonus, per game bonus, all these different bonuses. Sometimes teams could just make you hey, you just ain't suiting up today, brother. So
yeah.
Good question, Mike Richard. Do you still get paid if you're a healthy scratch?
Seen some long faces come off that bus coming from the hotel, walking in that locker room. You getting undressed, you putting your shorts on to go get in the hot tub or the cold tub or go get stretched, and guys come back and the equipment guys are at your locker taking your jersey off your shoulder pads.
Yep. Because they don't get the word yet either.
Yeah, like, oh, what's going on? Hey, man, got your name on the list, man. You not suiting up.
Oh man.
But here's some shorts and a hoodie that you can wear while you're on the sideline. It's tough.
Man. Very much so. What else we got, man? I think that was a good one. I see Smooth Operator 93. What do you see OBJ landing AB?
Man, I don't know, man. You see, he had his workout thing. He had like 13 teams at the workout. Somebody said that he was looking for 20 mil a year. I think we spoke on that.
He did too. He just
and,
said, "Where's that quote?" Basically,
yeah, where's that quote, right? And then I think somebody came out and said, full mil. He said that might not be enough or whatever. But right now, where do I see him landing? I don't know. I'm trying to think who needs receivers.
I feel like he's gonna go. At least I don't know. I don't know what his market is. A lot of people, once again, it's that situation where the people that really holding them purse strings, kind of control some of it. But I would like to see him. I like to see him in the Jets. I like to see him up there with A-Rod. Go up there with A-Rod, Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, OBJ. Breece Hall and Mike Carter in the backfield. I would like to see that. There'd be fireworks in that AFC East. The Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets. I would like to see that him on a 1-year deal, go out there, get paid, go off, and they get paid again. So personally, I would like to see the Jets. I know a lot of people saying Giants, but I just don't think Daniel Jones is there right now where he would attract a receiver like that. But once again, if the Giants come in and say, hey, we're gonna give you 11 with another 5 and playtime bonuses.
Sure, OBJ back out there with his guy, Saquon and Shep.
Yeah. What else? Any other landing spots?
Sure, I've seen some things about him going up to the Bills. Him and Stephon Diggs.
That'd be ugly.
That would be ugly.
That would be tough.
Sure, Brandon Cooks leaving Houston.
She ain't going to Houston. Oh, well, once again, let's that buddy right. Back to LA. Back to LA with the Rams. Run it back with him and Cooper Kupp. I don't know what their cap situation is like. I know they just let Bobby Wags. I think that was mutual though. Who was Leonard Floyd? They had to let go. We'll see though. I just want to see him back in the league, healthy, and
making plays.
I feel like the league is better when Odell is in it. He's got a lot of juice left in the tank, I believe. So hopefully he can get out there. And they did this, knee right this time around, and we get him back out there, man. But yeah, man, good questions. Man,
what you got out for the rest of the day, man?
Man, kids on spring break, so whatever the hell they tell me to do, basically, I'll be doing. I gotta get my work out of here. Gotta start the week off right. I told myself I was getting one in early, but that's just what you say when you up drinking late. Something last night playing cards, but I'm gonna get one in today. Just run around with these kids. What about you?
Man, I'm got some errands to run, pick the kids up from school. Like you said, I haven't got my workout in either, so I'm gonna get mine in at some point. And then
I see little mom on the mitts.
Yeah, little mom on the mitts, man. I got to go, man. You just keep it a buck with her. Like, look, man. Unfortunately, the way this world is, pretty, fair skin. You're gonna have some people that gonna come mess with you. Not saying that you're gonna go start it, but you definitely gonna be ready to finish. So we gonna and she's interested. So she actually asks, she's in the dance. I just, say, look, man, I want the kids to get into some some physical activities as when they're younger. She was like,
Yeah.
I want to box. Oh, say less. Say less. So she loved it, man. So love to see.
That'd be dope, man. Hopefully she stick with it. And obviously that's great cardio too. But that'd be crazy. She get in middle school, high school. Somebody start talking slicker, so you just show a little shadow bout.
Hey, look.
Hey, it was straight, little mom.
Hey, look. I know the public school system is a little different where I grew up than where we at right now. But all you got to do is just show one time.
One time.
That's it.
One time I put my girls in taekwondo. You know, some of them don't. My oldest though, she kept with it. Went got a black belt. I told her, hey, that's something they can never take from you. Now you gotta say that. You let that rumor spread. You know, my black belt. All right. Fuck around you want to. I went too. I'm still a white belt. I went probably 2 classes, but them stretches and them martial arts,
crazy.
Oh, I said I ain't never done the workout because of the warm-up stretch, but I ain't been back since. My picture's still on the wall, down on the bottom row, but I may go back one day. But yeah, man, it's important building up that self-defense and that confidence too. And that, you know, when you do stuff like that, building that confidence in yourself, pushing yourself. So that's what's up, man. That's dope.
Nah, that's what's
up.
Man.
Appreciate y'all rocking with you. I won't be here Thursday.
D-Butt won't be here Thursday. Y'all be on the lookout. AB might be on the show solo. Might have a special guest.
Yes, sir.
We'll keep y'all posted. But as always,
sir. So I said, what they doing spring break? You already in Florida? All right, man.
I mean, y'all get y'all 30 minutes in. Y'all go walking. Do some. Summertime will be here soon enough.
Hey, yeah. Don't be in that summertime, that big back, talking about all that stuff. You was your
that t-shirt on at the pool. Hey, get right.
Get it right, man. You control that, man. You know, some people got some situations going on where it ain't necessarily you control, but vast majority of us control. I'm talking myself too, because it's hard. It's been hard to stay disciplined after getting out the game when you ain't got to cover or tackle people and you ain't got the same workout partner you have it. It's tough. So I'm talking to myself as well. But hey, we control that, man. We got what, a good 3 months before summer? 2-3 months.
My man D-Buzz said it.
Unbig that back. We go, man.
Peace.
Darius Butler. Antoine Bethea
Go.